Hey everybody, welcome to another designer unboxing. So I wasn't planning on unboxing these, but my wife bought a pair of these Allbirds wool loungers and she opened them up and I liked them so much that I actually reboxed them so I could do a little unboxing of this. Now, Allbirds is an online footwear retailer. To be honest, haven't been a huge fan of their first release. I felt like I don't know, felt like it could have been resolved a little better, and I almost felt like there was a little bit of like a cult around it that had almost like this Tesla-ness of like, oh, I'm a cool dot-com-y person, and it just didn't seem super wearable. But some of their new styles have been much more wearable and a little bit more sorted out, and so I was pretty excited to unbox this one. Also because the packaging is super nice. So I wanted to document this, actually mostly for some of my clients so they could see a great example of packaging, but I figured I'd share it with all of you too. So again, this is the Allbirds wool loungers. Just a nice simple package. One thing like straight off the bat about this package, not a normal shoebox. And also there's no kind of a box in box. Like a lot of times when you buy shoes online, you get a shoe box and then that's like put into another box. But this is actually the shipping box, which is also nice. So you can see it's just got the shipping label right on it, simple label description of what the model is, and then this is obviously a general box that could go across all models. So not a normal shoebox, doesn't open like a normal shoebox, which is nice. But then this is what really surprised me once I opened it up. So just look how nice this packaging is, super thoughtful. They haven't wasted any opportunity to really kind of get across their branding, their brand message, which I really, really love. And just, this is somewhat free. I mean, yeah, there's ink involved here, but they're printing the box anyway. And all it takes is thought, right? It takes a little bit of an investment in design and hiring good designers who are thoughtful, who are willing to think through all of this stuff. Even really nice how this kind of like tapes down here. And then the way that the shoes are presented to you is not typical, right? It's not the typical thing where the shoes are nested in. They're really kind of more presented to you in a much nicer way. All the messaging is just super nice. Built a little bit on that cultishness around the brand, but honestly, that's kind of what you want. So we are Allbirds and better things in a better way. Again, really nice messaging. And then again, not missing a beat, right? Here, you open this flap and we've got another message, simplicity in every step. So really just kind of hammering home their brand values every step of the way and making you feel good about your purchase. I always tell clients that really the job of the package is to make you feel good about the purchase before you've had the opportunity to use the product. So if you buy something in a store and the package is sitting on the back seat of your car and you're looking at it the whole way home, you haven't put it on yet, you're looking at it and you're like, did I make a good decision? The packaging's job is to make you feel like you did. And this is doing that. I mean, the second you bring it into your home, gets delivered at your doorstep, it's making you feel good about your purchase. In this case, it's been sitting on this little table that we have for packaging for a day or two, letting it kind of cool off after being delivered. And then, molded paper pulp insert, not an unusual thing, but again, another opportunity for messaging that they didn't miss. So instead of just using an off-the-shelf mold, they modified the mold, better shoes in a better way, molded right into that paper pulp. And then another opportunity for a little message on washing, little screen print there. Costs a little bit more to print on this piece. A lot of brands don't print on these pieces, but they took the opportunity. Let's see the other one and see if there's another message. Yep, different message on the right one. So soft, you can wear sockless. Again, just little messages making you feel better about your purchase before you even put them on. And again, this is this little triangle is holding the shoes in place so that they're nicely presented to you when you open the box. And again, every side of this has a nice message. So I think one of the things that appealed to my wife and my partner about purchasing these as they're sustainable, purportedly sustainable, and as well as being known for being super comfortable. Little exchange messaging there, and gotta get their hashtag in there. Everybody's gotta get the hashtag in. Do you think people hashtag we are Allbirds? Do you think people use that? I don't know. Brands are really infatuated with hashtags. I try to get them to use hashtags that are a little bit more common that people might actually see instead of doing their own hashtags. But getting the @Allbirds in there is a good thing because maybe someone will follow you. Now, getting into the products themselves, they're super simple, very, very wearable slip. My partner bought these for really around the house, so this is basically a slipper replacement, but just a very clean, classic design. Not much to argue with here. I personally love the restraint. I mean, literally just a flat sidewall, kind of mimics vulcanized styles, like a Van slip-on, but it's not vulcanized. It's all injection molded foam. Very simple branding hit. My partner, she hates branding, so the fact that there's really minimal branding and what's there is tonal is really nice. These are a wool upper and then just a simple non-woven pull tab here. This non-woven pull tab is like a synthetic low nap suede or nubuck with a welded logo on it. Again, really tasteful, very clean, very restrained. One thing I would have liked to have seen them do is something a little bit more interesting on the bottom. I feel like the outsole of a shoe is kind of an opportunity. It's a safe place to experiment with design a little bit. I mean, these little notches are gonna do the job, right? They're providing traction as well as flexibility because you're getting all this flex, and clearly they paid a little bit of attention to kind of this idea of a little bit more of a biomechanical flex. These aren't just applied straight across, they actually rotate around two axes around. So, I mean, nice to see that consideration there. Obviously, there's a lot of thought. I think there could have been an opportunity to do something a little bit more iconic on this bottom view here that maybe could have gone across multiple styles. That's my take. You know, as an industrial designer, obviously, whenever you get to design tooling, you never want to miss that opportunity to design that tooling. It has to be amortized over many pairs, and you don't get to change it that often. But, I mean, the simplicity fits with their brand, so, you know, maybe that was, I'm sure it was intentional. Getting into the upper, it's very minimal, but very highly considered. So we have a two-layer upper here, so which means there's a lining, and then the outer portion of the upper, and in between them is a really nice thin French cord. So a French cord is basically like a piping, so there's probably like a very thin EVA tube inside of here, and then that is wrapped with a piece of textile, and then I think what makes it the French cord is that the textile then extends past the piping into here, and then they stitch that flange. And then this is kind of interesting. So this is a straight stitched here, and then on the inner lining, I'm not quite sure why this would be, but there's a zigzag stitch holding the inner lining, and actually you could see the edge of the cord there. I'm not sure why there would be a zigzag stitch. I guess they're zigzag stitching it to the cord, wrapping it over, and then straight stitching it to the outer side of the upper, because you could see that straight stitch there too. So that's kind of interesting. I'm not exactly sure why they chose to do that. The zigzag stitch might just be a little bit stronger to hold that cord in place. But regardless, this is going to be a nice kind of, it's a nice visual finish, but also just a nice soft thing to have up against your skin, versus what you would typically see is the lining rolled over and stitched, which you could do if you have a very stretchy, thin lining, but they have a nicer, thicker kind of a wool liner here. The next thing I wanted to point out on the inside is the label. This is often just not designed at all. Many times I tried to redesign this label at Nike, and it's just when you're making hundreds of thousands of pairs, changing a label is. Oh, I just saw somebody commented the zigzag stitch is probably there for mechanical stress. Yep, I agree. That's got to be the reason why they did that there. Um, but it's so hard to change the woven label on a big brand, but you can see they've just done a nice job and just, again, considered it. Everything about this product feels really considered. Um, they've cheated it back from the edge here. Oh, it looks like, okay, the binding is just kind of, it's tucked up under the binding. So really nice, simple, made in Korea. You know, it's very cleanly done. And then another thing I didn't expect on these, and you don't often see in these simple slip-ons, is they've done some extra foam padding in the heel notch here. So I don't know if you can kind of see that on screen here. You see this kind of triple puff? So what they've done is, feels like 3 separate little foam pads that they've inserted in between the lining and the outer here. And there's a very minimal heel counter. You see if I press on it, you can see the x-ray. So what that's doing is it's kind of pushing this edge away from your Achilles. If you wear sneakers or shoes barefoot, this edge can really rub against your Achilles, and that becomes quite an irritant, and you can get a blister there. It can be not fun. So they've added this little padding here, and it's just gonna push this away from your Achilles a little bit, and I think just make for a little bit more of a comfortable ride. And then also, because of that foam, it's very localized. So your heel, you know, the kind of larger, rounder part of your heel is gonna go right in there, and I think this is gonna help really kind of hold it on. So think of, again, the round part of your heel kind of sinking in underneath that foam pad. So between the heel counter kind of wrapping it and the foam pad, you're getting a little bit of a fit there in a shoe that doesn't have any fit adjustment. The last thing I wanted to show you all is the Sockliner. So I was really surprised by how thick the Sockliner is. When I took this out of the box the first time, I was expecting the EVA to be a little bit softer durometer. It's a little bit harder of a durometer than I would have expected, which means that the rubber mixture in the EVA is a little bit higher, which is great for wear. Means it's gonna last a little bit longer, especially for a product that doesn't have any separate rubber outsole, but makes it a little bit of a stiffer ride. And to offset that, they've put in this extra thick Sockliner. This was something I noticed on the website. So they have a molded Sockliner. So meaning it's not just a flat die cut sheet. It's dimensionally molded so that it fits your heel cup and the fat pad on your heel a little bit nicer, making it a little bit more comfortable. They've again taken the opportunity to put a little bit of messaging on here. And one thing that's interesting is you can see this flange here. So it's a molded heel cup, but they die cut the toe. And what that helps them to do is they actually can use this over a few different sizes. They're probably using it on the whole size and the half size, and then they die cut it to fit the specific half size width here. Just saves on tooling a little bit. But you can see the rest of it is molded, and then they just probably come back with a hot knife and cut that flange there. And I'm pretty sure the other one has different messaging. Yeah. So I remember I took this one out first, and this is something I read on the website, that supposedly this foam is a biofoam that's made with castor bean oil. So that's something I would like to look into a little bit more. It definitely feels a little different than your typical EVA. It actually feels a little bit oily, not in a bad way, just doesn't have that super dry feel that EVA has. If this is a biofoam that they're using, that is really cool. I'm not sure what the bio content is, and I wonder how long it will last. I mean, the interesting thing with cell foams like this, I mean, EVA is super comfortable. Just straight EVA is more comfortable than air. It's more comfortable than any other cushioning technology. The problem is every time you press on EVA, you're compressing all of the tiny little foam cells. inside of the outsole. And every time you compress it, it bounces back a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit less. So if you're a runner and you're running in just pure EVA midsole shoes, which most runners prefer, that shoe really only lasts about a month if you're running regularly. So with everyday wear of these as slippers every day, all day, since we're at home all day, every day right now, I just wonder how long this is gonna hold up, but easy to replace. I don't know if they sell replacement ones, but obviously there's tons of aftermarket ones that Christina can buy to replace these. It's a nice sock liner, again, dimensional. It's got a nice wool top sheet. It's not your typical cheap top sheet. And then inside, just a typical Strobel construction with a soft Strobel material, no Strobel board. So nice to see that it's not board lasted, which is going to make it much more flexible and soft. So that is it, Allbirds Wool Lounger, a deceptively simple product. It looks very, very simple, but they have really considered, I think, every aspect of this product, and it's nice. I mean, I'm jealous. I wish I worked on it. I think it's very wearable. It looks great. Is restrained, but designed in the best possible way. It's not overstyled. It's just really highly considered. And I think still one of my favorite things about it, as nice of a product as it is, my favorite thing is this packaging that just presents the product to you so nicely. I mean, it just feels like, they did a great job of making you feel like you didn't buy a shoe from just another shoe company. You bought a product from Allbirds. So, Allbirds, if you're watching, great job on these. I look forward to what my partner has to say after she wears them for a few weeks, but my prediction is that she will love them. All right, everybody, thanks for watching another designer unboxing. This has been a really fun series to put together, and look forward to unboxing the next thing. Until then, keep designing the future.